here with Greg Irons from Bornerong. He is a wildlife advocate. Hello, Greg.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you, Greg. Please tell me about yourself. What makes you happy?
Look, I'm a self-confessed wildlife nerd, I think is how I describe myself. Someone who, I guess, was very lucky from a very young age to know exactly what I wanted to do, and just had this very deep ingrained passion for wildlife, for the environment, for all things living, really. I'm fairly high energy. Stubborn would probably be a good way to describe me. If I've got something I want to achieve, I get very tunnel visioned. And look, passionate, I think, would be my probably best terms to describe me.
And when you started as a wildlife advocate, what were the things you wanted to change?
From a young age, I guess I was really drawn to helping animals. I think when you're really young, it's all about pets. You know, you just want to surround yourself with as many different animals as you can. But I'll never forget finding that first injured animal and working to save it. And it was this incredible feeling of connection, like this feeling that you could give something back to an animal. I describe it as a warm, fuzzy feeling that I've been chasing ever since, really. And I think that's probably what started the journey, was looking after those first couple of animals. And yeah, look, from there it just became something that I had to do. It really wasn't a choice anymore. It became part of my DNA.
And what has been the greatest or the most difficult challenge?
I think when I very first started, just being able to create the opportunity to actually make a difference, that was a real challenge. And I think probably there are a number of times that it felt almost too hard. You know, when you sit there with the very best laid plans. I remember sitting with my parents and trying to work out how to start a rescue service was my passion, the first in Tassie's history. And I said, look, could I borrow the flat downstairs and could I coordinate it out of there? And once we sat down and did all the costings and realised that we were looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars just for even 2 or 3 of us with a van running around helping animals, it was incredibly deflating, I guess, to realise that that really wasn't achievable, to have a job and do that at the same time. But I think that's where people go one of two ways. Okay, either they say, right, no's not good enough and I'm going to find a way, or they put it in the too hard basket. And look, for me, that just became fuel for the fire, I guess. So probably just getting that start was the hardest thing, talking to so many people to try and get support, trying to convince them at a young age, at 24 or 25, that I was capable of doing it was also a challenge. But it's those challenges are the things you look back on as your greatest achievements.
And what is the best part of being a change maker?
Being a change maker, for me, is something that we should all just strive to do, and it doesn't have to be really big things. They can be little things that you do every single day that make a difference, whether it's making a decision not to buy the plastic bottle with the plastic bottle cap that could hurt an animal, or whether it's something much more major and going to volunteer for a day and help other people or the environment that needs help. We should all strive to be change makers in our everyday life, because I think we've all had those days that we've sat around and done nothing, and while that's really nice, you don't get a great sense of achievement. Whereas if you can strive to do something good every day, just getting home at the end of the day and reflecting, it's just such a nice feeling to know you achieve something every day.
And if you were in a position of power or influence, what would you change?
Look, I think if you get a rare opportunity to influence others, it's really important that you grasp that. I think everyone should strive to be a teacher and everyone should strive to be a leader, because if you have knowledge at the end of the day and you have really important things to share with people to help them make a difference, I feel like it's a responsibility to share those things and to try and inspire others to create change as well. And of course, if we're talking about achieving something, the power of one, you can make a difference as one person, but if you can inspire 10 more to also make a difference, and they inspire 10 more, and they all go and inspire 10 more, suddenly that's where we see generational change, we see community change, and we see real results.
And what is the piece of advice you wish you would have gotten when you started your journey as a change maker?
Look, advice given when I was younger, gee, that's a really, really good question. I think probably to believe in yourself and to have a crack. Not that I wasn't told that. I've got incredible parents and incredible family that really encouraged me to give life a go, I guess. And look, I think not everyone's so lucky to have that. So I think to turn it around, what advice would I give others is have belief in yourself, and really have a go at things. If something doesn't go the way you want it to, don't let that stop you. Let that be the fuel for your fire to keep on fighting and keep trying to achieve what you want to. And you know what, if you never achieve what you're aiming for, at least you want to go down knowing that you gave it all you have got. And it's incredible what you learn and the little side things you achieve along the way. So probably that bit of advice, I would say is the best, is to get in and have a go. Trust yourself and have a crack.
And you're probably going through some changes in your life, like we all go at certain stages, right? Would you like to talk about them maybe at this stage?
Absolutely. Look, I think in life you have ups and you have downs, and look, we've all made errors in our life, some big, some small, some that could set us back a long way, or some just a little way. But errors and mistakes are, I guess, a part of learning and getting stronger at the end of the day. And I think it was Nelson Mandela that said, it's not how hard you fall, it's how you get back up, or something along those lines. And I think that's really important. So some things are out of our control as well, no matter how hard you try. And when we look at COVID, obviously, and what's gone on, look, for us, that's been a disaster, really. Obviously, it's been a disaster for so many around the world, and so many people have suffered because of it. And we're probably pretty lucky to live where we do, to have the support that we do as well. But look, for us as an international product and not having guests to come and fund through everything we want to achieve, that put us under real strain and obviously put us in a huge amount of debt as well. But look, that's life. At the end of the day, you've got to smile and carry on. And I think when you're faced with adversity and challenges, like we were with COVID, set some goals. Set some realistic goals so you don't just feel like you're going backwards. For us, it was to keep the rescue service going at full capacity, keep the hospital going at full capacity, and keep all of the staff employed who have also got home loans to pay and car loans to pay and all that sort of jazz. And look, that became a mini goal. And while we don't like stagnating and not driving forward at any opportunity we have, they became little goals that make a huge difference for both people and animals. And we're very proud to sit back now and say that we've achieved that so far, not without a lot of grey hairs and a lot of struggles and strains. But when you're faced with adversity, some things you can't control. So what can you control to make a difference?
And Greg, what's in your heart that you would like to pass on?
Look, there's so much in my heart that I'd like to pass on, if I'm honest. Look, I think as people, we have this unbelievable responsibility which we have not grasped as humans. Someone said to me once that you could take one animal off the planet and make it a better place. And of course that's us as people. And that's a terrible title to have, and unfortunately it's really true. And that really resonated with me when I was told that. And I thought to myself, that's something we've got to change, is we should be here as the absolute saviours of the planet. We should be here as the people that are working so hard to look after one another, look after the environment we live in. And we've got the intelligence, believe it or not, we've got the intelligence to actually do that. So, I think what's really deep in my heart is we need to do self-analysis, on what we can do better in our everyday lives. So I'm going to share a comment with you that was life-changing for me. And someone said, there are three types of people in this world. There are people that don't care, and we all know people like that. There are people that do care, which of course is all of you good people, and so many people we encounter in our everyday lives. So then there's the third type of person. There's people who care, but are willing to change their lifestyle, even if they don't want to, if it's the right thing to do, if it's going to make a difference. And said, which one are you? And oh God, that just stuck in my head. And I went home and I went, you know what, I'm number 2, but I'm certainly not number 3. And really, we all need to be number 3 if we want to see some changes. We all need to be people that say, you know what, I like that, but if it's not the best thing, then maybe I should do it differently. And that moment, I literally changed a heap of things in my life that I'd had my blinkers on, I think, and always found excuses why I needed to do things that I wanted to do. And you know what? My life changed for the better. Like, yes, I miss a few things here and there that might have been fun for me, but not so good for environment or animals. But the feeling of doing the right thing just so far outweighs those little benefits. So that's my encouragement to people, is to sit down, start small. You don't have to change the world in one big hit. Sit down and say, well, what are 3 things that I can make the decision right now to change in my everyday life to make a difference, and then strive to educate others as to why you do it. Maybe 1 a week, maybe it's 3 a day. But let's all strive to be better, and together we can turn it around, because the trajectory we were on as people and as a planet, it's not sustainable. So we've got to do something, and we've all got to be part of the change.
Thank you so much, Greg, for sharing all of these stories and insight and what's in your heart with us. And I really wish you everything and all the best with your advocacy for wildlife and Bonaram. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you very much. An absolute pleasure.